In any situation where something is being built, or many things are over a period of time, you end up with scrap material like that. Often called scrap because, well, that's what becomes of it. It gets scrapped. But not always. Sometimes, for the particularly resourceful, those so-called scraps are actually quite useful. In fact, when it comes to wood, they're sometimes called offcuts, and they can be turned into incredible things. David from David's Wood Turning is using these offcuts combined with some epoxy resin that'll have some ocean blue mica powder mixed in to create an incredible treasure box. How? Just watch. In those different forms that'll create the different sides of the box, all of those offcuts of woods like wenge, purple heart, iroko, zebrano, and more are laid down. And then in goes that epoxy resin. That torch was to remove the air bubbles. And then it's allowed to set, run through the planer before it's time to carefully coat the whole thing in another layer of resin before it can all be sanded down, cleaned up, and the work of turning it into an actual box can begin. The table saw set to 45 degrees to cut those corners. And the awesome tape technique being used, along with some epoxy resin, to fold this stunning treasure box together. Checking those corners to ensure they're perfect 90 degrees. And then speeding up the curing time with a little UV light. And how good does that look already? Just wait till it's all done. The router used to clean up those inside edges. And some sanding to all the flat surfaces before a little contrast wood is introduced. A little lip created, and then some oil rubbed in to create a lovely deep finish to it before the box is flipped over and secured to it with a few clamps. Then it's on to using paste wax to really take this to the next level. A few little accents in the form of hinges in a lovely chrome finish, then inset into a few carefully carved grooves. And of course, a treasure box requires a latch. And in the case of this treasure box, it, in and of itself, is a treasure, just like David from David's Wood Turning is.